Edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. My apologies, y'all. A little bit late getting started today. I just got off an interview with Jocks FM in Birmingham. I got another one coming up at 8:25, so I got to be short here. To get Drew up, get him out of the house, do this interview in the car, and then get over to LSU scrimmage day. It's open practice. It was labeled as a scrimmage inside of Tiger Stadium. They are going to have it instead at the practice facility, and now it's being labeled a practice instead of a scrimmage. So I assume we will see team periods again today, like we did last week when we had an open practice to the media. Big difference, obviously, no Miles Brennan today. I'm curious to see if there's any clarity, separation between Nussmeier and Daniels. Again, we'll see team periods, so we'll kind of get a sense of if there is any separation in how they're divvying up reps. We do get to talk to Brian Kelly around noon immediately following the practice. So today will be an interesting day. As I told y'all, I thought, this is around the time, about 2 weeks into camp thereabouts when they'll name a starter. So if it's not today, maybe it'll be this weekend. They have another practice on Saturday that's open. So, that's certainly going to be worth keeping an eye on. So let me know if there's anything else that in this practice today in particular that you're interested in having me keep an eye on. Only got about 10 minutes right now, so I'm going to blow and go. If you got comments, please drop them in quickly. Kai Preen committed to LSU on Tuesday night. He is an athlete out of St. James. Another one of the top players in Louisiana, 6 foot, 190 pounder. He's played in both the secondary and wide receiver there at St. James. 21st commitment for the LSU class. Had offers from a ton of SEC schools: Auburn, Florida, Florida State, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. So a guy who had major offers decided to stay home and play in Baton Rouge. He's in the composite. He's the number 256 overall player in the country, the number 16 athlete in the country, 15th best player in Louisiana. So another top player in the state. Choosing LSU and staying home, which is like we've talked about. It's great to see, and it's what we got to see from Brian Kelly. So you get another highly rated player in the state to stay home. That's now 8 Louisiana prospects of your 21 commits. We're still waiting on guys like Zalance Hurd to make their pledge. So fully expecting that he is going to pick the Tigers also. And so. Arrow pointing up for Brian Kelly and the staff here in recruiting. Things sort of crystallizing a bit as they make their way through fall camp. So it's a fun time of year as we're a little more than 2 weeks from the opener against Florida State. So say some good mornings here. David Coslin, Kenneth McCown, Truax, what's up, man? Charlie Cavell, Daniel Sinets, Brian Wynn, Stephen Fry, Bob Poole, Jeff McKithen, Scott Shirley. Morning, Scone. Haven't heard any news on Marlon Martinez, Ray Darius Jones, or Terrence Welsh. Have you seen them at practice? Yes, I've seen all of them at practice. The 2 cornerbacks are just kind of buried right now. Remember that they've added so much depth and experience there. With you lose Stingley, Ricks, McLaughlin, and Flott, and you add Jark Bernard Converse, Mekhi Garner, Sevin Banks, and Colby Richardson as well, and then Brooks and Fouché. A lot of those younger guys are just a little buried right now on the depth chart. So all those guys are out there that you mentioned, and I'm excited about Terrence Welsh, by the way. I'm really excited about him. Probably just not going to be this year. Let's see. Alex Roboleski, is it true people in the media cannot post videos or make posts before practice is over? That is true, Alex. The explanation from Brian Kelly was that he wouldn't want a parent or somebody finding out about something that happened at practice before they had the opportunity to tell them. Like, for example, if we're at practice and someone gets injured, they wouldn't want us tweeting about that, so like parents or family wouldn't know about it before. And I'll listen, because we're getting the access we are. I'll play by that rule. I have no problem playing by that rule. So it's a little give and take. And if that's what Brian Kelly is requesting in order for us to have access to practice, fine. I'm good with that. You know, we see something at 10:30 and then we can't post it till noon. Okay, I'm fine with it. Brad David, Larry Garner, Alex Barnes, Jason H, Spurge, what's up, Joey Vincent. Brad David, how did Christian Garrett get the information about Brennan if it didn't come from LSU? Well, if it didn't come from LSU, where do you think it came from? If there's two sides to that story. I'm sure he got it from Brennan's family. Probably, I don't know this. To be very clear, I do not know this. My guess is he got it from Brennan's dad. Jesse Brown, morning Matt, silly question, but does LSU add another quarterback since they only have 3 quarterbacks? No, not at this point. I think you move forward with your 3 scholarship quarterbacks and your walk-on, and that's what you roll with this season. I mean, remember, in 2018, they only had 2 scholarship quarterbacks. You had Burrow and Brennan. That was it. You were a turned ankle away from having a walk-on as your backup. So that's living dangerous. But no, I don't think at this point they're adding anybody. Darren Pellegrin, what's up, Darren? Is Nuss 100% healthy? I don't know that anybody is ever 100% healthy, but he was moving good the other day. I mean, he was back doing everything. So, you know, Brian Kelly said the foot thing was just like a grade 1 minor ankle turn, but he's not had any tape or braces or anything on his ankle, and he looks fine. So, I mean, I would say as close to it as you can imagine. James Metvin, Trivia Carter, Weston Weaver, good morning. Shout out to Perkins and Campbell for making true freshman All-America team. For sure, but I would say I would much rather make a true freshman All-America team at the end of the season than the beginning of the season. Peter Fenner, Otterlocks is back. The Otter is locked in, man. I'm telling you, he is back in his zone. Scott Lumine, J-Boy, didn't like when the things turned around on him. I was on Crane and Company yesterday with Jake and Blaine and Cone, and a lot of y'all had mentioned that Jake had gotten Jake had kind of crapped on this. Jake Crane, by the way, not Jake Hester. Jake Crane. They kind of crapped on Miles Brennan, so he invited me, and we're friends, by the way, really good friends. So he invited me on the show yesterday, and I turned it around on him because Jake's story is. He was a coach at Montana. He was at South Alabama, and I think was running backs coach maybe or special teams at Montana, and he started doing his pod and was at the airport getting ready to go back to Montana for fall camp, and he called the coach and said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do the podcast thing full time," and just didn't go back. So I was like, "Did you quit? Did you quit on your team, on the kids you recruited, on the coaches?" Anyway, yeah, it's pretty fun. Got him. Lane Oakley, morning Matt, saw your interview on Crane & Company. Really enjoyed the banter. Yeah, but I love those guys, by the way. I really, really I love those guys. I'm super happy for their success. All great dudes. So, nothing but love, really. Nothing but love. Matthew Denicola, I know it's football season, but can you tell me more about the basketball commit? Number 1 player in Louisiana. That's about all I know. Josh Blackman. I'm going to go to 8:05 today, y'all, so I'm going to do 5 more minutes. I'm just going to move quickly. You might have already discussed this over the past day or so. What happens to NIL deals players make and then quit football? Have the deals already been paid, or is it multiple payments? It depends on how a deal is structured, but it can't, as I understand it, be performance-based or tied to a school, because that would, I think, violate antitrust laws or something. By the way, if you listen to Rosters to Riches, our NIL podcast, Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint answered that very question on this week's episode. Damon Hinderberger, morning Matt. What's the biggest thing you'll be focused on at scrimmage outside of quarterbacks? Offensive line, cornerback. Gulf South, good morning. Does the NCAA have a date players have to be enrolled in school if they want to play that same season, even if Brennan wanted to keep playing? Is it too late to transfer play? Not too late to transfer. You have to be enrolled in the semester by whatever the deadline is to be enrolled in classes. So I think, isn't there, most universities, I know it was at LSU, you started the semester and you had a drop date or something like that, but you have to be enrolled in class by the deadline to enroll in class. I know I've given this example a bunch, but that's what Justin McMillan did in 2018. He left 2 weeks into fall camp and then transferred to Tulane and was eligible that semester at Tulane. Tim Gotro, Matt Lusto, good morning. Are the new local targeted Apple Podcast ads a feature, drop biscuit controls, or is the app wide for all Apple Podcasts? Matt, I don't know. If you could ask something more specifically, I could try to find out for you, but I know we use Spreaker is our host platform at Drop Biscuit. So my understanding is the programmatic, so like the ads you hear, those are not, as I understand it, local. Those are programmatic ads that Spreaker puts into the podcasts. Kyle Milliken, Matt, will y'all have any access during the season? Don't know, Kyle. That's going to be interesting. And my guess is it will scale back tremendously during the season. But I don't know. We have not been told yet. Greg T, the otter is back. Parlayed all 4 of his picks at plus 950. We going to Sizzler. We're going to Sizzler. Cliff Nelson, what's good? Boo Daddy 1092. Do you think the O-line first team is set yet? I do. I think they have their first offensive line, barring injury or something unforeseen. I do. That's what they've been running all through camp. I think they're set. Strong side. What's up with the Yankees, bro? If you had told me at the beginning of the season the Yankees on August the 17th would be 10 games up in the division, we'd be Scrooge McDuck swan diving into vaults of cash. It's baseball. Gulf South Rogers to Riches pod. Is that new? Yeah, so we just dropped our 3rd episode. So it's me and Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. So Matchpoint wanted to do an NIL pod. They asked if I would host it. So really, it's Pixley and Matchpoint driving the content. I'm sort of just driving the bus. But yes, Rosters to Riches. If you want to check it out, we drop it. We record it on Monday and drop it on Tuesday. Wendell Norman, Matt Lusto. I'm listening to Apple Podcast app ads are coming in from local to Cypress, Texas business. I have no idea why. That's a Spreaker thing. All right, y'all. 804. Jerry DeLucky, what's good? Great job on Crane and Company. Dax Jeter. Daniel starts if the offensive line is a sieve again, right? I think that's why a big part of why they have such a strong need for a mobile quarterback. Brad Ferran, William Hodges scrimmage today. So it's an open practice to the media, and they will have scrimmage like situations. Yes. Mario Collada have not announced the starter. Chase, don't forget about Cody Dickerson. Ronnie Duga, good morning. Michael Blanco, what do you think of Darrell Williams' tweet? I'm back. No idea. Stephen Farber, morning Scone. Kelly can't recruit LMAO. He's hired a good staff of recruiters, and LSU has NIL rolling. So, yes. Hey, Dad, good morning from the airport. All right, y'all have a safe day traveling home. Kenneth McCown. Don't know if the coordinator is going to be on the field or in the box, Kenneth. Don't know. Henry Burrell, good morning from Jonesboro, Arkansas. All right, appreciate y'all for watching. I think we're just about done here. My apologies for being a little short today, but I got a late start because I was doing an interview on WJOX in Birmingham. By the way, if you're interested, at 8:25 Central, I have an interview with Talking Ball in Huntsville with Drew DeArmond and Scott Dyson. So if you want to check that out. All right, I got to go because I got to get Drew up and get him out and get him to school. So y'all have an awesome day. Again, LSU's practice today, open to the media, and then Brian Kelly meets with the media around noon. So sometime I would say around 12:15, 12:30, expect to start getting a heavy flow of LSU info from practice today. Scone and Tea tonight. LSU Daily is already live, so if you have not done so yet, please go check out LSU Daily. However you get your podcast, today's episode, I've been doing them at night to publish at 6 a.m. So you should get an LSU Daily if you're subscribed every day at 6 a.m. However you get your podcast. And Scone and Tea tonight from Oliver Twist, AFR3. Peace. See y'all.